What's up, America? This is Kim and Neil with Geauga Farms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about how to set up a communication plan.
Alright guys, there's two important videos that we're going to put in the description below. We'll have the links available that you can click on. One is of a communications expert that I brought in here about radio technologies, and it was a pretty cool video. Recall that? Basically he came out here and within, it's a lot longer, but in real time, about 10 minutes, he took a slingshot that was attached to an antenna and a tennis ball. He shut up in a tree, and within 10 minutes we were talking to someone thousands of miles away. So kind of cool. Way more than we're going to talk about for this video, but just want you to understand the capabilities. And then the second video is the one we actually just made, which was kind of what you're looking for 2021, right? The four main things you want to look at, and one of them was what?
It was preparedness, where we talked about setting up a communication plan.
So watch those two videos if you haven't. Good content there. So we got a lot of feedback, evidently, our last video with the four main things. That was a big one, and everybody made comments specifically about, well, how do we do that, right? How do we do some of those things? So we're going to make separate videos for each of those. But for this one, we're talking about communications, because in my opinion, that's probably the most important one of those, because if you can't communicate with the people that you need and pool your resources in times of need, it's going to be really difficult, right? So we're going to give you a real basic plan on how to set this up for your neighborhood or your small group, whatever it may be. Kim, tell us, what is the number one issue with setting up? And by the way, let's give them some context. We're not talking about like creating this unit that's statewide, right?
No.
I mean, look, if you guys can pull it off, great. But for the most part, we're talking about what?
A group, a small group.
Right.
Of
Your neighborhood,
yeah.
like, the 10, 20, however many people you can put together that are within a reasonable distance, that if, there's no power, there's civil unrest, there's medical emergency, something like that, where you want to be able to get these people right away. So what is the biggest issue you're going to have right off the rip?
Participation.
It is what it is. So if you're going to be that guy or that gal that's going to do this, you're going to have to kind of take the bull by the horns, if you will, and set this up. So we're going to give you some tips on being able to do that, so it's not as challenging as you may think, right? Would you say that if knowing what we did now, could you do it on your own? If I was shot tomorrow, could you do it?
Yes, I could.
All right, so it's going to be pretty straightforward. Anyone's going to be able to do this. We're going to list it step by step.
The first thing you want to do is find people that are open to it and obviously like-minded to you and wanting to set up a community. You're not going to have good results with people who are, probably who would hate guns, wouldn't be a good person for our team.
And let's be honest, this is not about converting people. This is about finding, okay, you believe that you might want to rely on other folks, which I think is pretty common sense, guns or not. I think that people would like to have a network, and those are the type of people that we're looking for. All right, so what else do we need to know about?
Now we're going to talk about selecting the right gear.
Oh, gear, we get to go nerd out on this. Now look, here's the deal. Obviously, whatever your capabilities are, there's people out on my street that are, they have
Ham radio license.
They're all got the towers and the things and the foam hats and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you need something that's going to be simple, because again, you're trying to bring people in, and if you make this so complex, no one's going to want to do this, right? And not to mention, they may do it initially and they're like, oh, this is crazy. So it's got to be simple. So one of the easiest things is what radios we typically use.
The Baofeng.
The Baofengs, and it's called the 888S, I believe. It's super common. They're extremely inexpensive. Typically you buy them in packs of 2 or 4. Look, you could buy a $300 or $400 radio, but it's just not worth it. I mean, it's going to be sitting in a cradle. It's not like you're beating this around or anything like that.
Carrying it around every day.
Although I've taken them outside. They've gotten wet and stuff, even though they're not supposed to, and they're pretty durable, more than you would think. Nonetheless, they're inexpensive and they're super easy to use. Now, you can get into like, well, you need a license. Look, we're talking about simplex. I'm going to give you the most that I know. Simplex means pretty much line of sight from me to you, your house to this house. Just like you would go to a sporting goods or outdoor shop and you would buy those basic radios. But these are actual UHF radios, and you could technically program to connect to repeaters and all that. Not this video, right? This is about, my neighbor 10 houses down is in my group, and I want to be able to communicate with them with no, cell phones are down or whatever. When our power went out, our phones were dead immediately. So I want to be able to communicate with them. So simple. So the Baofeng 888S, okay? Great radio. You hand them out. They don't have to program it. They don't have to use software. They just turn them on, turn them to a channel, and you're good to go.
Now let's get into the nuts and bolts of it. We have our people, we have our gear, and now we need to create call signs.
Yeah, don't use people's names because, again, these are not encrypted. I mean, there's probably a possible way to do that, but again, we're trying to keep this simple so people will participate and we can create this network. So call signs can be a variety of different things. It could be your numbers of your address, numbers of your phone number, date of birth. You could use A through Z and then give numbers through each alphabet and pick that out. Pretty simple, but at the end of the day, you want to have something so you're basically using numbers to numbers. So for example, and this is all taken from real life police work, for example, let's say that my call sign is 50, right? And I want to call my neighbor who is call sign 30, right? So I would say 50 to 30, and then I would wait, and then if they heard that transmission, they would say go for 30, and then I would say, hey, whatever, there's a dinosaur coming down the street, whatever the case is, and we would communicate back and forth that way. Again, it's totally open. Anybody could potentially, if they had the same frequency, could listen to what we have to say. And again, these are not like high-end military radios or anything like that. Anyone can buy these and turn them the same channel you can. So just as a little bit of security and secrecy, I guess, if you will, use call signs. It's super simple. You can make your own system up, and then you got anonymity.
I don't know why he always says you have to use numbers. I always like joke and say, like, we can use names too. Like
what?
Like the donkey.
The honey badger calling the donkey. Do you hear me? Over. Now, of all of this, what's one of the most important keys to all of this after you have your people, your gear, and of course you have your call signs and your operation, your standard operating procedure, which is pretty basic. What do we need to do?
Well, the most important and challenging thing is testing and getting people, because you can set up all you want, it can be great and wonderful, but if you don't ever test it, it's not going to be there when you need it.
Have you ever set a New Year's resolution and not followed through with it? Mm-hmm. That's like what, 100% of everybody, right? So here's the deal. People are going to be like, yeah, I want to do this, right? Mm-hmm. We've experienced it, haven't we? Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I want to do this for sure. I'm in. Yeah, I'm going to be part of this network. We're going to be, the Super Black Ops network, right? And then that lasts for like, 30 seconds, right? And so the next month when we do, by the way, should we do testing regularly?
Yep.
Okay. So,
planned and not planned.
Exactly. Keep in mind, the whole point of this is that you have this radio turned on at all times, 24/7, 365, in a cradle, so it's always got power. And so that if, Sally over here gets attacked or whatever, or has an issue, she can pick up the phone or the radio and call, and people can hear it, right? Mm-hmm. But of course, people are like, well, I heard static like twice. And so they turn it off or whatever. Oh, well, it's in this room. Look, if you're not going to use it, right, what good is it?
Yeah, and having a location where you can actually hear it is really important.
Exactly.
You can't have it down in your basement and then...
Yeah, and you're on the third floor. Yeah. Like, okay, that's going to work out. And you got to do testing. And we found it ourselves, right? We have a pretty solid group, but for the most part, there's some people that are like, hey, and then I'm texting them, which defeats the purpose. Like, hello, are you guys awake over there? But anyway, the point is you got to work through that, and so that's kind of how we get better at this whole thing.
So how do we make this all happen?
Well, you're going to have to take charge. I mean, as simple as that. If you came up with this idea, you're going to have to follow through with it. You can't just say, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and everyone's like, oh, that's a great idea, and then nothing ever happens with it. So that means that you're going to be the one that's going to, you're going to go on, and again, you can get these on Amazon, super easy to find. You're going to send everybody the links. Hey, everybody buy these radios. Let's meet up on such and such time, or let's get on a call or a webinar or whatever. I mean, these people are within seeing distance realistically, so it's not going to be that hard. But let's get together and talk about our plan. I, obviously, being me, I got a whole standard operating procedure booklet on how to communicate and all this. Probably too much. Okay, probably too much. But anyway, my point is, at least we have some guidelines. I'll give you another example. On the radio, there are 16 channels. Okay, so we have a default channel, right? And then we have a backup channel, and then we have a contingency channel. So we have these 3 channels that everybody knows about. It's in writing. They all got the little booklet, right, that nobody cared about. Anyway, and so they know that if there's interference or static or for whatever reason we can't communicate on our primary channel, they know to go, or someone can say, go to your backup channel. We don't say the number. They know what it is. If there's an issue there, we go to our contingency channel. So we always have these 3 channels. So there's another thing to throw out there for you. All can be put together. I mean, how long did it take me to tell you that? And now you guys have that set up.
You just put a little sticky note on your radio.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, in my phone, I have their name, just like we have our badge numbers as police officers. I know who's who. But at the end, I put their call sign. So I know every time when I look at Sally on my street, Sally is, call sign 55. So I know that's that. So if I need to get a hold of 55, that's Sally. So that'll also help you refresh as you typically text and call and stuff like that.
So we hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, a like, share, comment. We always love to hear from you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe here on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, and we put all of our premium content on Patreon.
And remember, guys, as I told you guys last time, I'm working on getting some more alternative platforms that we can get on that are more conservative friendly, if you will. So wait for that. By the way, just so you guys know, one more thing. If you see this video, that means we're putting another video just like it on Patreon that you'll never see. So that's a little bonus if you guys are interested in Patreon stuff, because you have our undivided attention.
Until next time,
Remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.